Well, we know when it comes to money, we can't take it with us. So while we live in this earth, we have to figure out when we get money what to do with it. And what I've learned in life is you really only have three options. There's really only three things you can do with money. Number one is to save it. Number two is to spend it. And number three is to invest it. Those are your three options when it comes to the decision on what to do when you get money. And in this live feed, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Andre, great to see you. Thank you for joining again. Adam, thank you. Persistence beats resistance. As long as you can, keep trying. Don't give up. That's the lesson. You know, even today or last night, I felt like giving up again on YouTube, even with 18,000 subs. Why? Because there's something that, you just always want to give up. But just keep pushing forward as best you can. And like I say, yeah, ESP, we're in a new location. Gotta use our flexibility. Hopefully this location works better with the Wi-Fi. I don't know why. It just hasn't been going good. You guys give me some feedback in a live chat. Let me know if it's choppy. I'm doing the best I can. But let's talk about when you get some money, what you can do with it and how you can spend it. Well, like I say, if you get money and you're really struggling financially and you don't have much, you have to figure out some type of strategy to save money, because your savings account is your emergency fund. It's your ability to keep a level of independence, to keep a level of comfort, to keep a level of enjoyment, freedom, to purchase you resources. Now, money gives you the ability to purchase resources. Money does not necessarily give you health, and that is the number one thing. There's no doubt about that. Every time I feel sick or something happens and I get scared, I always admit that health is your number one thing. But once you have your health, your ability to allocate money to three different categories is very important, or at least to give it some thought. So your savings account is the first allocation, the first place money should go, especially when you don't have any. So that, you have this pool of money to allocate towards basic resources for your life to provide you a quality of life. Some things that you want to do, some things that you need to do. And that's very important when it comes to saving. Saving is one of the major things that you can do with money. It's only one of the three. The next is to spend money. Obviously, look, once you've saved a certain amount and you've took care of your needs, you have to figure out your wants and how you want to spend. Some people, they are good savers, but they struggle, and I think I am a little bit too. You struggle a little bit spending because, you like to hoard money. You like to have an abundance of saving. So now there's some people that are the opposite. They don't really like saving. What they like is to spend. And so, like, either one could be an obsession. Okay, either one could be an obsession because it's only one of the three things you can do. Now, the third thing you can do is invest it. Okay, and you invest it because you want more of it. You want to, what they call, make your money work for you. And some people get obsessed with investing. It's like, there's a saying that, what do you do if you want to double your money? And there's a saying that, fold it in half, put it in your pocket. Hal says, lost you, brother. Yep, great to have you. Andre gets frozen. Man, this is a disaster. These live feeds with the bad internet is not where it's at, man. I don't understand why it's freezing. I got great Wi-Fi. It's crazy. Let me see here. Pull it back up one more time. Adam, I'm a spender. Unfortunately, I've saved some, but not enough. Yeah, well, that's a good point, Adam. Look, when it comes to saving, they say that you should have 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account. And, that would probably be anywhere for most people between 5 to 25 grand. I would say probably 10 grand is probably the average that most people need to get through 6 months of their life without any income coming in. Like I say, you got to be careful when you live off savings because savings goes very quick, especially if there's an emergency in the midst of your journey. So that's true. ESP is clear for me so far. Thank God. Okay. Because what I could tell you is I got to keep I got to keep these live feeds to be able to have good internet, or else they're going to get too frustrating. I ain't going to do them anymore. So what I can tell you is this, guys and girls, is that you have to pick one: save, spend, or invest. I like to save. I went through a season of life where I really like to spend. I really don't like to spend anymore. And at this point, I really don't like to invest. I really don't like to risk it. I don't like to see the investment go down. And any investment is never going to shoot straight up. See, if you save, you're kind of guaranteed that it's either going to stay the same or go up. If you invest, it can go down and it can go up. So that's that risk, that you got to figure out it's worth it. And when it comes to investing, you're going to go either stocks or real estate. Stocks are more volatile. Real estate is more entangled. Some of that is personal, individual preference. There is an adrenaline rush to investing. There's an adrenaline rush to shopping. Some people get a high off spending. There could be said adrenaline rush to savings. I know every direct deposit day I get excited. So again, I never get more excited than feeling good. My health. I love, and I'm very grateful for that. And like I said, a few times in my life, where anytime I feel sick, you always have that reinforced. But what you also have reinforced in life is, what do you do, as far as the money allocation? Where do you put it? And the bottom line in tonight's message, you just have to remember that you got 3 buckets to choose. 3 buckets. So at least you understand that. There's saving, there's spending, and there's investing. There's really nothing else you can do with money. You can start a campfire, you're spending it. That's about it. Andre, Sam, I saved a ton of money. I'm ready to buy my first Florida house. Awesome. With cash? Good for you, man. Plus, I also want to buy a brand new boat. Oh, that's good. Cash so I can start my adventure. Can't wait. Well, that's awesome, Andre. How old are you, brother, if you don't mind me asking? So would I recommend buying a house in Florida? Yeah, I love Florida. I would just say if you're going to buy a house in Florida, there's a couple things you have to understand first. Number one is you got to get a quote on home insurance, flood and hurricane, because flood and hurricane insurance is a lot higher in Florida than it is in many other places in the country. Number two is you want to, I know the excitement of wanting to come to Florida, but you have to know the different areas. Because again, it's like I say, I want to go boating, and then you buy a house in Orlando. Now, certainly there's, waterways I'm sure you can find, but, it's like, it's not really the boating place to be. You kind of want to be on the coast, right? You want to be where there's rivers and where there's inlets, etc. So you're 38. Yeah, so you're 38, you're in great shape. If you have the money and the wherewithal to buy cash, a boat and a house, and then the other thing is, look, after you kind of figure out where you want to buy your house and you get a quote on the insurance, then you got to figure out boating fees, right? Because if you got the cash to buy the boat, that's awesome. But then you got to figure out where you're going to dock it, the maintenance of that, etc. Adam, to move anywhere, you have to have enough saved, usually 5 to 15K. Yep. If you move to Florida, I've researched a lot when it comes to Florida. I've lived 7 times. It hasn't worked out yet. Oh, you came to Florida 7 different times? Florida's an interesting state where it's really a state of people, transients, people who come from other states, usually with money or retirement savings they made in other states. And then they come and they live off that retirement money and they buy a house, maybe like Andre Cash, and they live off the money they made, and they want to live a more relaxed life with a better quality of life. It's still, even in a housing boom, you could still find relatively cheaper housing than many other parts of the country, and that's the allure of Florida. Plus, obviously, look, you got the Caribbean weather, you got the tropical weather, and you got the all year round outdoor activities. You do have hurricanes, but what I've learned in life is you got nowhere in the world that you can go that there isn't a chance of some disaster, whether snowstorms, whether tornadoes, whether forest fires, whether avalanches, earthquakes, ice glaciers, you name it. So, it's like, you pick what you want to deal with. That's pretty much it. At Nomads, we try to pick like the best of both worlds by being able to move. A hurricane coming, I'm going to start my vehicle and move. Wi-Fi's not working, I'm going to start my vehicle and go to another spot to do the live feed. So, it's like, that's the benefit. So, one thing I really learned in my life is that obviously, again, you need a certain amount of money saved, but then and you need your health, but then you really need to live where you want to live. The hard part about moving, even when you have money, is leaving family behind. Like I say, I mean, I'm blessed. I got a good mother, and I got love for my, certain family, but we never like had big family things for the most part. And, I don't know, but I would just say that there's something that pulls you back to the familiar family setting, to be relatively close, especially parents. If your parents are still alive, I would say probably the biggest thing. So, that's very tough for a lot of people to deal with. D, hey D, thank you for coming back. Love to you. D, I want to say this. I hope I'm not choppy, and I hope that you hear this, is that you're never being selfish for doing what you need to do for you. You're not abandoning someone by taking care of yourself, obviously, unless there's an extreme circumstance. But yeah, so I appreciate you. And then she says, CBS said hurricanes 2021. Yeah, I'm not sure. At this point, kind of weirdly, what I feel in my spirit at this point in my life, I don't know what the future holds. I don't think anyone could have said, well, I guess Bill Gates said it 3 years ago. He did say that basically the next thing that the human population has to worry about is pandemic. That's true. But, now Bill Gates does say too that, climate change is real. It's coming. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, for me, I mean, I'm not Bill Gates. What do I think the future is? I really don't know, guys. I think about some of those things, and then I just say, God, help me get through the day. Help me not to worry and live in fear, and help me to enjoy each day. I mean, for the most part, I'm kind of have everything I want. All right. I'm trying to just keep my health, well-being, stay in Florida most of the year. As long as my mom's around, FaceTime her every day and go visit her when I can and when the timing is right. And, just trying to make the most of my life. I like to see the digits go up. But for me, I'm not really trying to live a lavish lifestyle where, I'm ruling the world. I'm just trying to live independent and healthy. So that's true. Andre, D, you shouldn't trust all you see on the news. Yeah, the news and life, I just don't know anymore. You don't know what to believe, what to not believe. I really got no idea at this point in my life. And I'm really kind of burnt out and trying to figure it out. I just hope for relative peace. I hope for health for people. And I hope for the best. That's it, because I don't want to destroy my life worrying about this future that none of us kind of know. So, all right, let's take a hydration break, guys. Leave a comment, please. Let me know, are these live feeds, is this live feed, is the reception totally bad, or is it clear now? Adam, next time I move to Florida, I will have my ducks in a row. Yeah, that's a good point, Adam. Look, sometimes that's how we learn in life, through trial and error. And, to move to Florida, you got to have enough saved. And then you also have to figure out your income strategy. Because again, you can't live off savings unless you're at retirement age and you have a lot of it. So you got to have enough in savings. And I would say, you want between at least 10 to 20 grand if you're going to move. And you want an income already set up in Florida so that when you get here, money keeps coming in. And, you want to figure out your long-term strategy. Like, are you in an industry that you can work? Can you work a basic job and still maintain your housing cost? Can you live off DoorDash? Do you need to work for a corporation? Do you need $20 an hour? Do you need $50 an hour? You at least kind of want to know what you're going to need and what it looks like for you. Definitely. Love TD. Yeah, but it was a rainy day today in Florida. So I just went up and I came outside. Adam, that's why I need my preferable job is the way to go. If you can stay with the same company and they either let you work remote or they have an office or some type of building that you can work out of in Florida. You're going to save on state income tax. And if you keep your salary, if you're staying with the same company, that'd be great because overall, again, the cost of living in Florida is still relatively cheaper than most other states. So, that's a win, definitely. And, industries are a little bit different in Florida. Now, again, in 2026, Florida will have a $15 an hour minimum wage. So that bill was passed last year, or that vote. So, worst case scenario, that's what you're making right in a couple of years. Again, you can make that right now doing DoorDash, as long as you got a car and you can do something like that, Uber or whatever. So, but that's why I tell you too, you got to be cautious when you move to Florida or anywhere that you don't just move in the middle of nowhere because it's a cheap house. That's good if you have your finances figured out for the rest of your life. But if you move in a rural area without enough money for long term, you're basically guaranteeing you're going to have to commute to get income. Again, unless you can work remotely. D, I've saved, and now I'm going to learn how to invest. Yeah, the tricky part of investing is you can lose more investing than any other way. See, either, again, you got three options in life what to do with money: save, spend, or invest. And investing is the biggest way to lose all your money. Because you really couldn't save and lose all your money. And, you could say, well, you can spend yourself into poverty. But you can only spend so much because you only have so much cash and then you only get so much credit. Banks will only give you so much credit that they think you can reasonably pay back. But if you invest and you get addicted to investing, I think you can go on an investing disaster even more than a spending disaster. And again, you can borrow money to invest money, and that can turn into a negative thing. So you got to be very careful. I would say overall, I look at my life, I've lost more money in investments than I've made. So, you got to just be, that's a thing that is a very tricky thing because, you can only save so much. And then if you don't need to spend anything, it all goes to that investment fund, So, that's a tricky part of life. And believe me, everyone's got their hand in your pocket. Everyone wants to invest for you. What's the general wisdom on how to invest? The general wisdom is after you have your 6 months or so worth of savings, 6 months of expenses and savings, is that you invest and you have no debt. I would say pay off your debt because your debt's probably going to cost you more than investing. So once you pay off your debt, then you're going to investing. And then when you go to investing, the general wisdom is just invest in an index fund, like the S&P index fund, which is like the diversified fund that basically follows the general stock market. Now, but again, it's going to go up and down. And we've been on an upswing. So it's like, who knows how that plays out, but they always say like, don't invest unless you have at least 5 years to not need that money. So that's like another thing you have to think about, your time horizon and your emotional stability to deal with the volatility of the news. Because the news and investments and the stock market, they're all tied together. And if you're faced with a health crisis or you're going through a bad time emotionally, in life, and your car breaks down or your water heater goes, and you see bad stuff on the news, which you could easily see. You see the stock market plummeting. I mean, your heart can go in your stomach. And, that's a very tough thing, definitely. No doubt about it. I don't know, but, I would say this. At this point in my journey, I'm really not trying to do anything magical. At this time in my journey, I just want to keep plugging along. I want to live overall peaceful. Like I say, maintain my health and just avoid disasters as best I can. Definitely. But even today, like I said, there was a couple things. I said, man, life can change so quick, And money comes and money goes. And life comes and life goes, life does drag out sometimes, and sometimes life seems like shit goes by quick, And life is scary. There's so many different pitfalls in life. There's so many frustrations. Like I'm getting frustrated looking at my replay saying, man, I don't know why this live feed's not coming in clear. My friend makes an extra $25,000 a year. He has been doing this for years. The toilet paper man. The toilet paper man? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you can make 25, it all depends how much money you have in that investment fund, right? They say, I think the average investment will yield between 5 to 8% a year, right? So, if you had $100,000 in investment, and let's just say it did 10% a year, that's $10,000. So for you to make $25,000 a year, you would need about $250,000 in investments. If you were to get the average return approximately. So if you wanted to get $25,000 a year, that's approximately, you need it in an investment fund, a one that you can kind of say is an average. You need $250,000, $300,000 in that account. And, there's no guarantee it'll make that average return. And certainly there may be years where you make way above that. Again, we're talking about averages. So, I don't know. I thought about last year, when, before the coronavirus, and I'd be in Starbucks, and there'd be people all the time that come in there, and they were like, yeah, there'd be like investment people, and they'd be entertaining their potential client in Starbucks. And they say, yeah, you could put your money with me. I'll manage your money. We kind of, we can't say we guarantee, but this is the projected average return. And overall, you should have no problem. There's no issue. And then I think, like, what happened, 2 months later when the stock market went down 40%, did they take all their money? I mean, it's like, who wouldn't? It's like, that's a scary thing, So, and of course it goes back up, but you don't know how quick it's going to go back up. So, you talk about like the news, you talk about emotions, and you talk about adding all the other trials and tribulations to life. I'm kind of at the point in my life, where I really don't even want to know about a special investment or a magical thing. I want relative peace. I want limited stress, and I don't want to deal with too much baloney. D. Remember, he used to yell at me for using too much risk. You can spend too much. Now, can you save too much? Well, people say, look, if you save too much, you're going to lose out on inflation. And especially in today's time where inflation is high. And that's a reality of life, So, inflation probably now is probably around at least 3 to 4% a year. So if you're not making 3 to 4% a year on your money, then they say technically you're losing it if you keep it in savings, because a savings account right now is less than 1% in interest. So, you're like in this dynamic where you have to kind of invest. But then you're in this dynamic where you got your emotions tied into something that maybe you don't understand or you don't want to do, and that's the bad part that I don't like about investing. But some people have a natural desire for it. Some people like to invest in real estate, and some people like to do stocks. I kind of been beat up on both. I really, I still like a little bit of risk, but not much at this point. ESP. I remember that conversation, D, with TP Man. Who's toilet paper man? I'm totally out the loop. Nublia. I would research what I'm investing in before investing. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. And then like you research everything, which is good, it's smart. And then it's still everything can go awry, you know. Just remember, like at every investment, they always say there's no guarantee. And that's with everything in life, you know, there's no guarantee. So I don't know, man. Everything in life kind of is what it is. You know, it changes, but I guess overall, you know, the basic wisdom that doesn't change is just invest in index funds. I mean, that's kind of it. Um, I can't think of anything else that would be basic theory that you should do. Nublia, don't put too much emotion in investing. Very hard not to do that. Emotion is mental health, not money. Yeah, I mean it's very hard. It's like, you know, it's like saying dating. Don't put too much emotion in dating. It's like saying food. Don't put too much emotion in food. And you're right, Nublia, you're 100% right, but it's very hard. D, good ESP, good memory. Yeah, I don't know who is TP man. Why? Who is TP man? I'm totally lost. So I don't know, guys, but I feel that you know, I feel on another note. Let me know again if these if this live feed's coming in with good internet, because if it's not, I'm not going to keep doing these things. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. And I'll just evolve to something else on the you know, on the live feeds, or I have to, you know, wait till I get a more stable connection, because I don't want to give you guys a choppy live feed. That's a shitty service. So let me know, guys, in the comment section. I'm gonna take a hydration break. Yeah, would I ever stop doing live feeds? Yeah, well, look, I mean, you know, they get to a point where they can run their course. I mean, we may be at that point. And definitely, if I'm not getting good internet on the road, you know, they run their course. Would that suck? Yeah, it would suck. I mean, it's been a big staple of the channel. But, you know, Andre, stay where you're at. Looks good now. All right, praise the Lord. Well, we're still in there. You know, it would suck because some of my YouTube revenue would go down, but I would get some time back. I would lose some connection, but I would evolve to another phase of life. I would gain some more privacy, because like in my still videos, like my regular uploads, I can make them whatever, right? And I really don't have to share my life. Like I can make them of my biggest view videos are RV reviews. People don't care about my personal life, about this, that, you know, for the most part, you know, the masses, I'm saying, you know, so if I just do videos like that, I'm not going to make as much money, but I'm going to have some privacy back. I'm going to get some time back. And, you know, that's good. But I don't know, you know, it's like, you know, change. I don't know, you know, change is always weird, man. You know, it's like, you're always trying to figure out, is it done? Is this part of my life done? You know, it's like an athlete, like at the end of his career, like, you know, should you go to Tampa Bay like Tom Brady and try to win another Super Bowl? Are you done? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Is my YouTube career done? Well, in one sense, you know, it's still going pretty strong. In another sense, you know, I kind of feel a little bit like time, knowledge, and time is more important than money and getting better. He goes, I feel like time, knowledge, and time is more important than money, and I am getting better, and am getting better. Yeah, well, I definitely agree that your time and your health, and then your money. You know, you got to have your health, and then you got to have some time to do something with your health. Because if you have health, and you know someone comes and shoots you in the brain, you don't have no time. Okay. Now, if you got all this time but you ain't got health, you're gonna want to shoot yourself in the brain. Okay. I was watching a video clip today while I was on a treadmill in Planet Fitness, because again it was raining most of the day in Florida. So I was on a treadmill, nice smooth pace today. I was just, you know, nice easy pace. And I was watching an interview with who's the M&A girl? Rowdy Rousey. She did WWE too. And I didn't know, you know, when she was born, she didn't speak for the first 6 years of her life. because when she was born, the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, and I guess she had some like trauma or whatever. But now she's a star, so she ended up being okay. But she was saying that, Howard Stern was asking her about her childhood. She goes, "Well, that was a big thing." She didn't really remember it. She said, because when you're 6, you're not really aware that you're not communicating. But the other tragedy of her life was her father had took her and her family out sledding in the snow. And I guess her father had gotten into a sledding accident and messed up his back and became paralyzed. And he had some type of issue with his health where he basically just started to deteriorate. And he eventually committed suicide because he just couldn't stand the deterioration of his physical health. And, of course, we saw that with Robin Williams, the famous actor, a couple years ago, where he had the money, he had the health, he had the money and he had more time left in his life, but he didn't have the health. And it was like, so it's sad and scary, man. And that's, like, you can't live in fear, but you got to remember that. D. Man told me to first start with opening an account with Ameritrade. D says $1,000. Yeah, $1,000 ain't really going to get you nothing in investments. Again, as long as you got at least $10,000 in savings in a separate savings account with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever, then if you want to open a separate investing account, well, one is in the beginning, don't do any margin. Probably margin is just credit and investment accounts. And that's usually mainly for day traders or swing traders. So it sounds like you're trying to go the conservative proper route, per se, with index funds. So, yeah, I would just say that, I don't know. I mean, you can't go wrong with 1,000, but let's just say you get the average index fund return of about 8-10%. A 10% return on $1,000 is $100. So if you got the average return, if you put $1,000 in the account today, next year you'll have 1,100, and that'll compound. Now, if you put 10,000 in there, then next year this time you'd have 11,000, and that would compound. So, however, again, that's the average, not the guarantee. The stock market can go down 10% in a year, could go down more, could go up more. And that's the thing that none of us know the future. And that's the scary part about life. But the only part that we know about life is we only do 3 things: save, spend, or invest. So make sure you save enough, spend some, because we're not guaranteed too much time. I'm struggling with that, so I don't know. And just be cautious with investing, because you can lose it all. And let it be your cherry on the cake, not your dependence. D says practice first. Yeah, no, he's right in theory. Like they say, practice with trading with fake money, paper money. But there's a big difference between, I don't know, man. I feel so, I didn't just invest in index funds and let it grow. If I did, I'd say I would have made money, and I would have been up all over the long term of, pretty much my point in life where I had more than just enough. So, so that's the only thing I could say with a level of confidence, that at least in my experience, if you didn't try to get too fancy with your investments and you just put it in the basic, index funds, and you left it for a long period of time, you should be okay. No guarantee. But, I tried to do a little bit more risky things, and it didn't pan out. Now, how it pans out long term, I got no idea. But like I say, now I'm at the point where I'm crossing over the halfway point of my life. I'll be 41 this year. And now I kind of get to the point where I'm just about mitigating risk, even though I'm relatively young in some aspects, but I've also know that we could go at any time. And now you don't want to die with money in the bank unless you got kids, because where's that money going to go? Now, if you got kids, obviously, if you can, you want to try to leave something for them. But you just don't know when you're going to go and on what terms, man. And, it's scary, when your parents pass and you're left without your parents. It's like, I think when your parents are still alive, you kind of always feel in the back of your mind, if you have a decent relationship with them and if they still have their capacity, then you feel like, well, they could always be there for me, right? Now, if your parents become decapacitated, like I know Adam's got to deal with some issues with his parents. One has dementia and his father's struggling. It's a very tough part about life, man. It's like, because now that I think that's when you cross the threshold of being like an adult, like, and you can't go back. It's like when you get to a point in your life where you can't, your parents aren't around, or they're not able to take care of you, you got to take care of yourself. Just another dimension of the world, of the life experience that, but you can't, what can you do? You can't be sad about it, but we just got to take life one day at a time, because I don't want to make anyone anxious. I don't want to be anxious. I want to just try to stay positive. D. TP Man is the guy who played Show Me with money from the Philippines. TP is the guy who played Show Me with money from the Philippines. I'm still lost. Who's that? Thank you guys for staying with me. Andre, Sam, my father-in-law passed away last night. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh, he was 85. Well, thank you for sharing. I don't think it's ever easy to deal with finality of death. Obviously, if someone is suffering, none of us want to suffer, and you certainly don't want to see your loved one suffer. 85 is above the average life expectancy. Currently, the average life expectancy for a male is 75. The average life expectancy for a female is 80. So if a male lives to 85, he lived a full life. I have another viewer, not a member, but a viewer. I think Bruce is his name. And he left a comment the other day, my heart went out to him, that his parents or his mother is like 90 and they're in hospice, which is like the final place to go when you're really in bad condition physically. And he goes, Sam, my mother doesn't even know who I am anymore. And he goes, that's the ironic part about life, right? Like, we're supposed to take care of ourselves, exercise, eat healthy so we can live a long life. But how long do you want to live? Do you want to live into your 90s where you are maybe not able to be independent and you don't even recognize your own son, and your own son has to see that, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, and I don't want to get too sad. Because life is scary enough, and I don't want to have to scare us unnecessarily. All I could tell you, I tell myself, especially as I get older, one day at a time. And I pray. I do pray, look, at God's grace, because life is a scary soup, scary bowl of soup sometimes, So love to you, Andre. What did he pass of? D. Till then, keep on. Well, D, I appreciate you being positive. I really do, D. Thank you. Nublia, shout out to you, man. If I was investing in a company or something, I would search up the people involved and understand how the company works and what they sell. Well, you're smart, Nublia. You got a good mind on you, brother. Shout out to the UK again. Man, shout out to you. I remember going on a job interview, and the guy was asking me, some technical questions about electrical theory. And I'd answer all the questions right. And then he goes, okay, great. And he goes, let me ask you this. You know our company? Can you tell me what our company does and how we make money? And you know what I did? I froze like a deer in headlights. It was one of those points where I learned through a level of failure on a job interview. I had researched all the questions on what to answer for the technical part of the job. But where I failed was not understanding that a company can ask you about their internal business plan that has nothing to do with your job function. So that they want to know if you see the big picture. And I was coming from a union background where the union would get you electrical jobs and you would never talk to the company that's hiring you and talk about their company business plan. You would just go there to do electrical work for whatever they need. And so what I learned when I left the union and I started going to these job interviews, I learned about private businesses, right? About business in general. And I'll never forget, I was like, damn, I did so good on this job interview. And that last question, I failed. He still liked me enough where he gave me the job. And like I said, what I've been reflecting on the past few days, thank God for grace, when you fail, when you make the wrong decision, and guarantee you, sometimes I get very sad because I really try to put a lot of thought into the decisions I make to try to maximize my positive outcome. And then once in a while, whether it's a brain fart, an overreaction, or whatever, I make the wrong decision like that and could totally put me in the wrong direction. And I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking? And you get crushed. It's like, I put all this into doing these things right, and I made the wrong decision, whatever it is. Okay, investing, whatever you want to do. Doesn't have to be money, could be a personal decision. It's like, you spent 6 months with no contact with your ex. And then all of a sudden, a night came, you say, you know what, I'm going to text my ex just to see how they're doing. And then all of a sudden, all your discipline, gone. And now you're in this algorithm of you're chasing them again, or whatever, And I don't know, guys. That's all I always tell you, change your number. But, that can help you with relationships. But as I get older, I get a little bit more humbled that there's going to be nothing in life that you can do to totally eliminate bad decisions. You can try to make less, and you should. But once in a while, you're just going to get hit with the banana in the tailpipe. I try to avoid the banana in the tailpipe, but once in a while, we get hit by it. $10 super chat, Keith. God's grace is new each day. Amen. Appreciate you, Sam. Well, Keith, I appreciate you. And I appreciate that gracious tip and that gracious word, which I hold on to, especially when things go bad. It's like you really won't understand God's grace until there's a bad moment, And you realize you could have gotten that car accident, something bad could have happened, things could have went for worse. And, I've been struggling a little bit, what's next? And thinking about, do I want to make drastic changes, simple changes? And, I just want to say thank you, Keith, number one. And number two is, guys, I don't know, we're going to see. I'm going to just keep taking life one day at a time, trying my best to stay consistent in the things I know I could do. And, what I want to tell you is just, let me just say thank you, shut up, take a hydration break, go back to live comments. Keith, I hope you're doing well. I got a couple videos this week coming up about Florida. As we enter rainy season, the snowbirds are beginning to migrate north. More houses are starting to come on the market. If you want to buy a house in Florida, the best time is in the summer or the fall. The worst time could be in the winter because that's when the most demand is. However, there's no exact science, but keep your eye out and keep the faith. Thank you, Keith. Back to live comments. Thank you, guys. D says women. D. Sorry, Andre. You have lost 3 loved ones in a small amount of time. Yeah, Andre, you've had a rough past couple weeks. And I appreciate you being positive, too. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm trying to keep myself out of sadness, man. Um, and I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful I had the health to enjoy the day, to make the most of it, and to be in Florida. It's a blessing to me to be able to video conference my mom, to be able to do this, because sometimes I feel like, yeah, is this over? You know, the YouTube thing. Um, and I'm thankful for a job to go to tomorrow, with working with good people. You know, I'm thankful I don't have to swing a hammer anymore. And I say mainly, I'm thankful for my ability to be able to walk and breathe, as far as like without any major issues. And that's what I would share. Now, I know we're talking about money, but we're talking about life also. When it comes to money, look, three things: spend, save, invest. And that's it. Um, Andre says, age. He was suffering. He didn't know who I was. Yeah, that's tough, man. 85, like I say, you know, once you get into, I don't want to be too sad for those getting up there, man, because I still, I mean, now as I get older, you know, I think once you get into your 40s, 50s, definitely. Shout out to Jersey Lynn. She had her 50th birthday this week. Hey, Jesse, love to you. Jesse, I'm holding in there as best I can, Jesse. I love you. I love you. Keith. Um, all right, let me get back live comments. I want to get everyone in order. But I would say Jersey Lynn, a viewer of mine, member of mine, she had her 50th birthday today, or this week. And I saw her video saying that her family gave her a birthday card like busting her chops, saying you've been alive a half of century. And when you get in your 40s and 50s, I think you realize that you're over the hump. Okay. You know, I look at people in the gym in their 20s or teens or 30s. You know, there's still a look in their eye that, you know, what, I'm invincible or I'm going forward. You know, I look in the eyes of people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. The look in their eyes is, you know, let me get through today, you know, and let me try to stay around as healthy as possible, you know. It's like that younger mindset is conquer and destroy or whatever. And the older mindset is survive and try to live a peaceful life, you know. All right, back live comments. Nublia, thank you, man. He says, condolences. I got love for you, man. Andre, yes, that's correct. I hope it stays like that because just last Sunday, we got 9 family members, excluding me, thank God, testing positive for COVID. Yeah, I've been keeping you in prayer and a thought. You know, like I say, I've been struggling with that issue the past couple of weeks because I know some people in my personal life that had got it and they got really sick. So it's a little bit scary, man, still with that whole situation because I don't know. I know they say hopefully in the summer and the spring, I mean, in summer and fall, we go back to a level of normalcy. Uh, there's just so much, I don't know, man. There's just so much out there. I just want to stay positive. Uh, and I just want to try to make the most of our days. D. Sam, I wish I could give you what you gave me that got me out of my depression. Well, D, thank you. But like I always tell you guys, you don't owe me anything. You know, I appreciate your words of encouragement, your support. And, you know, I'm going into a new phase with the YouTube. You know, I'm still going to continue to do my normal thing, and I'll see how it goes. But everything has different seasons, you know. And I would say my ability to spark anyone, it just comes from my level of sharing what I've gone through. Because, you know, once in a while I may get like a little bit preachy, like trying to preach. But for the most part, I'm just trying to communicate what I've been through. Uh, And there's a scripture that says, you overcome by the grace of God and by the word of your testimony. You know, and so, like I say, you're going to realize as you get older, you need grace. You make the wrong decision and you just need grace. And then you also realize that sharing your life story is probably the best thing you can do. And you really don't have to do it in a way that is super preachy or super teachy. Again, you don't have to be super preachy or super teachy. You know, obviously you got to focus and organize your thoughts. I do recognize that I was born with a gift to communicate. I tried to refine it. I kind of get burnt out on it sometimes, just like anything. But, you know, look, it does encourage me, you know, I think anytime you have a gift and you use it and it works, it feels good. Obviously, it also feels good when you can make some money off it. You know, like I saw a live feed today, and they were like, you know, again, they asked them like, why do you do YouTube? And they're like, yeah, I do YouTube so we can connect with you guys, and I do that, you know. I don't know, man. You know, I think too after you get to a certain point, you know, but I have been thinking lately about, you know, money. And, you know, after you have a certain amount, you know, would I do stuff for free again? Yeah, I would. You know, I would definitely still do some stuff for free, you know. You know, like I said, when I was younger, I did a lot of volunteer work for free. I did a lot of things for free. And I guess I kind of got burnt out in that. But I think as you get older, as long as you secured enough money for what you want and what you need, you may get to another point where you say, you know what, you know, there is a reward for, you know, helping people, you know. Thank you again, D. Thank you again, Keith, man. Love to you and your family. Andre, thanks, Nublia. Jesse O, my first ever member, $10 super chat. I am learning that money really has no meaning unless you give it away in some way. Now, Jesse O, I feel you. You know, me and you connect. You know, Jesse O is an investor, or was, but she also has other ways that she works to make money. But like I've shared with you, overall, I've lost more money investing than I've made, if I'm honest. And I think the most important thing you can do with your money is save enough to have a level of money in a savings account for an emergency. Pay off your debt and spend some. And then, you know, investing, it is wisdom, but you have to be very cautious, because when you lose everything, you know, it's like there's a humility to what Jesse was saying, that, you know, it's like you rather like sometimes give money to someone than give it to, you know, the stock market, or give it to, you know, the broker and lose it, or give it to a gambling venture. You know, life's this crazy thing, man. You know, but we all end up humbled at the end, you know. We all end up humbled at the end. The rich man dies, the poor man dies, the guy or the girl in the middle dies. We all die. You know, it's interesting where the dynamic we're at in world society is that, you know, death is it's a reality for all of us. It's just a matter of when we check out. But I don't want to be sad about it. I don't want to get negative. I don't want to lie about it, but I want to just say that, again, you can't take money with you. Obviously, if you have children, you want to try to leave something for them. And, you know, if you can on your journey, you know, give someone a job opportunity, that's like giving them money. If you can help someone out and give them a tip, or give them just a gracious gift, that's a blessing. You know, money is this interesting thing. It's a good thing because, again, like, you know, You want people to be rewarded for their work, whatever function they do, mechanic, nurse, a coffee, a person who serves you coffee in Starbucks, whatever. It's all part of society, right? But we can't take it with us. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Keith. Let me go back to live comments. Andre says, thanks, Nublia. Jesse, humans don't really live that long, in my opinion. 10 years goes by really fast. That's true. How old are you, Jesse? Before you know it, you're 60. That's true. Jesse, how old are you? I forgot. Keith, if you want to share. Keith, I've been working a lot lately. All my coworkers all down, really? And tired. I come in smiling, good for you, because it gets me closer to my goals. Yeah, you're in that, thank you, Keith. You're in that fired up place. And I know exactly that mindset. That's good. You want to get down to Florida. You want to have enough money to enjoy your life. Like I say, like what gave me the passion to live in my car in New Jersey, or even when I was still in my house. When I got to my 30s, I started to say, it's like, what do I want out of life? Because for me, I kind of saw like a family was not in the cards for me, and not something I really even wanted once I got into my 30s. And so once I start asking myself that question, what do I want out of life? Again, you want your health. Again, you want a level of money. But then again, you realize that you can only do certain things with your money. And by the time you're in your 30s, you realize that, yeah, you got to save some. Investing is very risky. And where do I want to spend money? Like when you're in your 20s, you want to spend money to impress girls or impress society. But for me, I got past that point. I really didn't want to spend any more money on my house. I said, man, I'm spending money on renovations or on utility bills or on furniture. And I said, I don't really want to stay in this house all my life. And, that passion for Florida and for being outdoors was birthed. And part of that got birthed, when I got nerve damage, and what I found very therapeutic was going outside for a walk. That, wow, walking outside is like awesome, And then I realized like how awesome it was when it was sunny and I was outside and walking. I said, man, this is awesome. You got that vitamin D hitting your body and it's sunny. And I said, man, I would want to live all year like this. And that's like when I started thinking about Florida. And that's what made me have the energy, like you're saying, Keith, to go to the next level of determination. Because to get to your destination, you have to go to another level of determination. Like now, like you guys kind of seeing, like my determination is at a different point because, the promised land is here. I'm here. So it's like, what am I getting fired up about? I really don't want to get fired up that much anymore. I know it's entertaining to see me fired up. If I feel in the spirit, I'm going to do it. But also, like I said, guys, there may come a day where one is I don't do live feeds anymore, or two is I do a live feed from my robe with stable internet in a home base. So we'll see. Love to you. Keep pushing towards your goals, man. Jesse, I wish I had the courage to live without fear of losing money. Yeah, I hear you, but you know what? Best that you have a savings account. You lower your risk of losing money and just keep the money coming in through a regular job or however you get your money, Social Security or whatever you do, disability, or however anyone gets money, So, like I said, there's a saying, how do you double your money? fold it in your pocket, fold it and put it in your pocket. Now, obviously, I know we're no longer really in the paper money society. We're in a digital money society. So, it's like, how do you make sure the digits in your account stay stable or going up? Keep them in a stable account, that there's not a lot of volatility. So, but again, everything is individual, right? I mean, so there's some people out there that they're in the season of life where they're going to take a lot of risk. There's some people out there that they are by nature adventurous. They're builders, they're investors, they're goal setting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has a different season of life. The key is knowing when that season is over and transitioning, but that's up to you. Like, I got this one troll that follows me. This person's like mentally disturbed. They troll me and they troll another channel I watch. And like, they make it their business. They watch every video and they make it their business to like, leave a nasty comment. And I said to myself, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I hope you find peace, because I don't know. Well, I do know. It's just a mentally disturbed person, but I saw a mentally disturbed person today in real life. And I thought there was going to be a problem. And what do I do when there's something like that in real life? Well, I just try to not say anything. When I know I'm faced with someone who is mentally disturbed, I keep my words as low or as little to none as possible. Because you're not going to talk yourself out of a bad situation. I try not to just let me keep my mouth shut. And I try to look at the exit strategy. Now, when I was today, all of a sudden I found myself in a dead zone. I was like, oh shit, there's really nowhere to go here. Like I said, I could have been over. So always remember that, guys and girls, like when you're out, whether you're taking a jog or whatever, if you're not around someone, things can change like this. I remember Fat Joe told a story where he was in a club in Miami and he had that song Lean Back. And it spoke about everyone has to lean back like Roy Jones. It was like kind of like a cheap shot at Roy Jones. And Fat Joe was in the club with like 50 guys, some of them killers. And he goes to the bathroom and Roy Jones and like 3 guys turn the corner. And all of a sudden he goes, Fat Joe's by himself. And he goes, Roy Jones could have destroyed me like this. He goes, now here I am. I'm in a club with 50 guys. They all got weapons on. And they're ready to do whatever they want for me. But in the course of like 1 minute, I'm by myself. And so life can change really quick, guys. Never forget it. Tim, what's up, Tim? Hope you're doing good, man. Tim, thank you. Thank you, Tim. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, how do I feel, Tim? Overall, I feel good. And I'm just taking it one day at a time right now. Thank you. Jesse, thank you again. I know I read that already, but thank you for that gracious tip. Nublia, I feel like the feeling of missing out is a good motivation to do things. Yeah, FOMO, the fear of missing out. I don't know. I think that's a bad thing. Now, do sometimes I do it? Yes. Like I say, I'm very disappointed in myself that sometimes I make a lot of great decisions, and it's very encouraging to make a good decision. And I said, man, I got this, or I'm trying to do the right thing. And then all of a sudden, like again, I don't know, you have a brain fart or you get over emotional, do something quick. So, oh, what the fuck? And like you can erase all your good decisions. And that is when you realize the grace of God. Because I don't care how smart you are. Now, it does matter that overall you try to operate with a level of wisdom. Because you can't just go around reckless and always expect like it's going to work out. But also, there's no one on this earth that you're so smart and you're never going to make a huge error. I don't care if you're JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon. I remember Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. There was a trading scandal a couple of years ago. And this guy was known as like the smartest guy on Wall Street. And his firm got caught up in something, like, they all do eventually. And he was so devastated. Well, he was so scared. He went home to his wife, and his wife said, "What's wrong? I can see the look on your face, the look of failure and fear." And he goes, "I missed something." And that's the problem. Like, you think you're on top of everything, and there's something that you missed, always one thing. Or something comes up eventually. And it's so humbling, okay, that, it really does humble you. Back live comments. Jesse O, you just turned 30? Oh, you're young. I just turned 30. I feel old. God bless you. Yeah, like, I remember Drake had that song. What do you say? Like, I'm in my mid-20s, and I'm having a midlife crisis. I relate to that because I always had like an old soul. Yeah, mentally I'm 50. I understand that. Mentally I'm like 85, guys. That's how I feel. I'm wore out, man. I just kind of want to watch the birds now. And that's not saying, look, if my live feeds go away, what will I do? I don't know, man. I'll watch the birds or something. Like I said, I haven't made any decision on that. I probably won't. As long as I can, get the internet, as long as I got the energy and ability to do it, I'm going to still do it. Because I'm grateful for it. It helps my channel, helps me. I like to connect with people at the end of the day. But as you get older, simple things are highly important. When you're younger, goal setting, determination is very important. And that's fine. That's the way life should be. So, it's a different priority set. And then Jesse says, I have thought about all the possibilities of life, and it all ends meaningless. Amen. I mean, that's what the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible says, that even when you work hard, even when you do everything right, we all share the same fate, and everything could be meaningless. And the conclusion, the last page of the book of Ecclesiastes says, it basically says, with everything I've said, this is my final conclusion. Love God and try to avoid both extremes. Don't be too bad. Why die before your time? However, don't be too good. Why destroy your life? Those who really love God will avoid both extremes. And, that's, I believe in it for the most part. Jesse O. This life equation don't make sense. Well, now you've figured out life. Jesse O, you have figured out life. There is no exact science to life. There is no perfect answer to life. Obviously, there are general principles that will keep us all aligned with an overall hopeful direction. But once in a while, you just realize that, this ain't guaranteed either. It's true. Rihanna had that song, Nothing is Promised, and I agree with that. Look at that song up, D. Yeah, that's an excellent point, D. Don't make eye contact with someone who is in a deranged state of mind. And I didn't today. Don't make eye contact with a panhandler, and don't make eye contact with someone who is deranged mentally, because it will infuriate them, or it will make them lock in on you. Like, when someone is ready to do something irrational, whether because of drugs or they're just in an irrational mental state, they're like a wild animal that has distemper. They're locking in on their target for whatever reason. And what you want to do is just try to get them to not lock in on you by not making eye contact, by keeping it moving, by not saying much, if anything, and let them go focus on another target. I thought about today, like, I had a situation where it could have turned into something. I was walking by myself. This guy pulled up like deranged, and he stopped his vehicle. I was walking by myself, like almost in the middle of nowhere. It was a quiet street. And this guy started looking at me, tapping on his car. And I'm saying to myself, like, first I tried to nod, And then, like, it became something. He didn't say anything, but I knew what he was saying. And then I said to myself, it's about to go down. So I thought about all that. So I just tried to keep it moving. And if you got to run, okay? Because that was on the thing, okay? So, but I also said to myself, if I pulled out a gun and he was in a car and he had a gun, it's a shootout. So I said, is that, like, I can't even say that's the right thing. Because, like, a lot of times we think the gun is the protection. It is, but that can also be the escalator. So, how do you deal with that? Oh, I tell you, try to just get away without anything. Because you think about that. My life could totally change like this. I wasn't bothering. No, I wasn't in anyone's space. I was on a public street in an area that it wasn't any crime. It was like an industrial area, almost like, and it was like I was chilling. I don't know where this guy came from. I don't know what he was. I think it was a mental issue or something. I don't know. But I was like, man, this could play out so many ways right now. And I was like, let me just try to get away from this situation. And thank God I did. But I'll tell you right now, guys, it could all have been different. I could see it all being different. I don't know why, too, because I wasn't even doing nothing. Journey with Jordan, man. Journey, I'm hanging in there, man. Shout out to Tennessee, man. How you been? Hey, Sam. Just getting in. Hope you're doing well in tropical paradise. I'm thankful. I'm feeling good overall. I'm thankful for that. Just trying to maintain my health. It was rainy today. That's what tropical paradise is. As you know, your family's from Naples. Once you get into April, May, and definitely June, rains come in the afternoon. They dissipate quick. And I'm still grateful to be in Florida. And the snowbirds are starting to migrate up. How's everything in Tennessee, brother? How you doing? Journey with Jordan? Jesse, I feel that. I turned 30 this week also. Did you? Almost halfway there. Well, guys, I don't know if I got the energy, but we're going to sing it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Journey with Jordan. Used to be from Naples. Now he moved to Tennessee, making money, getting older. Happy birthday, brother. You are still 30. Many great people throughout history died before 30 or just after 30. Of course, growing up, I was reading the scriptures, and I was always surprised that Jesus was only 33 years old when he died. And for me, that was the first time I equated age with life. Because obviously, to me, taught Jesus was the Messiah. You guys don't have to believe that. I don't know what religion you were brought into. And everyone, that's a personal thing, but I'm sharing with you my experience. So I was, taught some of these things. And when I was studying the life of Jesus, and they say, yeah, he was about 33 when he died. Now nobody may not know his exact age, but that's what's believed. So I said to myself, 33. And then, of course, growing up, I like Tupac. Tupac died in his 20s. And I said to myself, I'm 40. Now, even before I was 40, I said, damn, I remember when I turned 34. I said, I live longer than Jesus. Not in like a way of like me calling myself the Messiah. It was a way of, oh my God, like age and life and what you do is amazing, right? Like, who knows? And I remember when I don't know what Tupac was, 26, 25. I remember making it 27. I said, man, I live older than Tupac, so. And then I think about my man Bruce the other night who left a comment that his mother and his family, they're going into hospice. And he goes, Sam, I don't know how wise it is to live too old. It's like in one sense, do you really want to live into your late 90s and be in a place where you don't understand anything and you're not able to be independent? And there's some validity into that. Now, again, I'm not wishing death on anyone. I'm not trying to be sad for someone who's watching this in their 90s or 80s. That's not my point. I'm just trying to say it's scary for all of us, myself included, to know that life is like this. Now, sometimes I feel when things are going good and I don't feel fragile or I don't feel that, and you think that life drags out. So I understand that too. You know, it's a weird thing. Journey, man, thank you for all your love, man. Thank you for hanging with me. Love to you. Jesse, at Journey. No ish, man. It's scary. Thought about it, laughing on the ground. 50% drawdown, no doubt. Yeah, getting older. You know, I think as you get older, I just think you just want to maintain your health and live a peaceful life. I think that's the main crux of life. D, I watch the birds. Yep. YouTube has live bird feeds. Well, I'll tell you this. I've been making a conscious effort to just watch more things that are basic and peaceful. Now, I'm not a believer of sticking your head in the sand. But guys, I mean, last year, you know, and even in this year, and we're right now, it's like, you know, it's like, how much can you take? Okay. And believe me, if there's something major, I mean, I'll speak on it. But I also say to myself, I got to maintain my well-being. So it's like, you know, and it's like, I don't think anyone can tell you, including me, what the exact 100% truth is and what the exact 100% certainty of the future is. So it's like, I don't know what to say. Well, let's watch the birds. Let's take a hydration break. Go back to live comments. Keith, my mom turned 83 today. Congratulations to your mother. Love to your mother. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Keith's mom. 83. God bless her. She has given me the best advice. Well, that's a blessing if you got a good mother. Today she says you never know what's in front of you. Take it one day at a time. 100 emoji to your mother. And God bless her. And I'm thankful that, you know, she's still around your life and that you're doing well with her. That's great advice. Get through the day, guys and girls. And God bless you, Keith, and your mother. Wendy, we made it through another day by the grace of God. I love you, Wendy. What? Oh, my God, I agree. I try to talk and look at no one. Real talk, girl. You know what it is. I tell you, the person I ran into today, I don't know if they were on drugs or had mental problems or but I saw it in their eyes. Like, this is going to be a problem. So I was trying to avoid the problem, not escalate the problem. And it's like, I didn't even want to, like, I could have said, well, what's up? What do you need? You know, or what are you looking at? I could have said a lot of shit, but I tried to play it out like, well, where does that lead? Because I know, look, you know, when someone's looking at a certain way, there's a problem. Okay. I don't need to ask that. I know it's a problem. I don't know why there's a problem, but I also know when you're dealing with an irrational person, don't even ask. Keep your words short. Keep your eye contact low to none. Look to run or get out of dodge. And don't escalate by pulling out something or doing something, because then you got to do it. And then your whole life can change. And so you got to be very careful. Journey, I've been doing great, Sam. That's awesome to hear, man. Just got back from visiting my sister and her new baby, shout out to them, a few weeks ago. I had an interview at my job a few weeks ago for a supervisor position. Haven't heard back yet. Well, you will. Journey, man, you come such a long way, man. Journey's been with me for a long time, guys. This guy changed his life, man. I just say this. He got back in the workforce. He tapped into his potential. And he figured out how to navigate some of the politics of working. And, you know, he's doing a great job. So, Journey, like I say, brother, I got a lot of love and respect for you. I know you've been around a long time. And I know your future's bright, man. You're still young, too. So, I know you'll be able to do whatever you want in the future. Whether it's come back to Naples, build a log cabin next to Dave Ramsey. You know, whatever. What do you want to do in the future, Journey, what's your dream, man? Wendy, people think I'm a nut because I look straight and dodge. I'm in grocery doing it now. Yeah, well, what I tell you is try to dodge as many people as possible. Guys, we're just in a game of dodgeball. That's what I feel. I'm just trying to not get hit by the ball. You said, well, you could catch the ball and throw it back at them. Yeah, guys, I can do a lot of things, okay? I just want to get the fuck out of Dodge, okay? Keep my sanity, keep my health, keep my money. But again, the bottom line, guys, when it comes to money, only three things you can do: spend it, save it, or invest it. You gotta be very careful. Wendy, right on 100. All right, guys and girls, I think we concluded another live feed. I'm doing my best. I want to thank you guys and girls for hanging with me. One day at a time. Like Keith's mom said, I think that's a great way to end it. Nublia, I feel like philosopher when I'm in this chat. It's kind of fun. Well, Nublia, man, you've been a blessing, bro. You really have, man. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to the UK. Journey, thanks for the kind words, Sam. Always appreciate your encouragement. Dave Ramsey been taking major heat lately. He's a survivor. I'm not sure the long term, okay, for your life. Short term, I just want to build a stable career. Well, that's a good goal. You're in your 30s, and that's wisdom to do that. So maintain your well-being. Remember that your self-care is paramount. Again, can we get in a car accident? Can we make the wrong decision? Can we overeat? Can we, whatever? Of course. Again, we pray for the grace of God, right? But, let us try to at least do as much as we can. Love to you, Journey. I'm proud of you, man. ESP, thank you for hanging with me, man. You've been in, a lot of you people too. ESP, though, you've been in both live feeds because my internet's been choppy. But I just try to be persistent. I try to be consistent. And I try to get through the hitting slump. Like, I know I go through a hitting slump where, the videos are not banging, okay? But I know through life, you just keep doing it. You'll get back in the rhythm again. So, now look, will there eventually come a day where you just retire? Sure, guys, look, I'll retire, go into the Hall of Fame. But for now, I just want to take it one day at a time. And I'm just grateful. Thank you, Keith, also. Love to everyone. Journey, shout out to you with the palm trees, man. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Peace. God bless.